Honju are the largest and most powerful kaiju. They serve as commanders, leading other kaiju thanks to their unique reproductive organs. Their armor and defensive capabilities far surpass those of ordinary kaiju. Some Honju have reached a power level of 6.4, enough to wipe out an entire battalion of Defense Force soldiers. However, there are still certain elite fighters, such as captains and vice-captains, who are capable of confronting and even defeating them. Yoju are smaller kaiju that typically accompany and support the Honju. Some Yoju also possess reproductive organs and can emerge in several ways, created directly by Honju stepping out from the fissures opened by them, or born from larger kaiju. Despite their smaller size, some Yoju can achieve power levels exceeding 6.0, making them just as dangerous as Honju. Daikaiju are monsters with a defensive rating above 8. They have appeared since ancient times, as far back as the Meiji era. What makes Daikaiju terrifying is not only their size, but also their overwhelming strength. A prime example is Kafka, who in his kaiju form has a power level of 9.8. Although not gigantic, he can defeat many larger monsters with sheer brute force. Some Daikaiju also assume the role of Honju, commanding entire packs of Yoju, as Kaiju No. 10 once did. However, not all Daikaiju act independently. According to reports from Shinomiya and the Defense Force, around 20 elite officers currently have the capability to engage Daikaiju, but only a handful can defeat them in one-on-one combat. In particular, when facing a numbered kaiju, humans have almost no chance, as their strength surpasses imagination. Numbered kaiju are a special class of kaiju, immensely powerful and extremely difficult to exterminate. Their power levels typically exceed 9, requiring vast amounts of time, effort, and coordination among high-ranking officers to bring them down. To make identification easier, the Neutralization Bureau assigns them code names in numerical order. Numbered kaiju were only officially recognized once the power classification system was established. After their defeat, their bodies are often repurposed into numbered weapons, forged around their kaiju cores. Those who wield these weapons not only inherit the terrifying power of the original kaiju, but may also experience visions of them, or even access the memories of former wielders, as the kaiju's soul lingers within the core. Remarkably, throughout all of history, only 15 numbered kaiju have ever appeared. Some have been converted into weapons, while the rest remain undisclosed. Kaiju No. 1 is considered one of the most dangerous of them all. With its special eyes, it possessed the ability of pseudo-precognition, the power to see through living bodies, identify weak points, and read neural signals. In other words, it could predict an opponent's movements, making its attacks nearly impossible to evade. However, Kaiju No. 1 was ultimately defeated, and its core was forged into Numbered Weapon No. 1, now wielded by Narumi. Through Narumi's mastery, this ability has been refined into true precognition, expanding his sensory reach to electrons, temperature, terrain, and the surrounding environment. Thanks to this evolution, Narumi has become an extraordinarily versatile warrior, turning Weapon No. 1 into a force even greater than the original kaiju itself. Kaiju No. 2 is also among the most terrifying monsters, powerful enough to level an entire city. Only Isao Shinomiya possessed the strength to keep it under control. When fighting Kafka, even in his kaiju form, Isao was able to injure him with ease, proving power on par with a Daikaiju. Kaiju No. 2 was infamous for its nearly impenetrable defense, wide-reaching destructive shockwaves, and devastating energy blasts fired from its mouth. After it was defeated, its body was reforged into a weapon that retained the ability to unleash immense electromagnetic energy. However, after Isao's death, the remaining parts of Kaiju No. 2 were absorbed by Kaiju No. 9. This absorption made No. 9 stronger than ever, so much so that it even surpassed Kaiju No. 1. In fact, although Narumi wields Weapon No. 1 with its extraordinary precognitive abilities, he has never once managed to defeat Isao, the man who once mastered the terrifying power of Kaiju No. 2. Kaiju No. 4 was a gigantic flying beast with a flat face, 3 eyes, sharp fangs, and a centipede-like body covered with insect wings sprouting from its back, an abomination that looked like a fusion of several different monsters. After its defeat, it was transformed into Numbered Weapon No. 4. At first, this weapon was wielded by Kikoru Shinomiya, who carried it with the dignity of a war goddess. Later, it was redesigned for Kikoru. Because Kaiju No. 4 possessed multiple wings, the armor allows its user to fly at incredible speeds, making it the fastest weapon in the Defense Force's arsenal. The wearer can move so quickly that they seem to vanish before the naked eye, and Kikoru has demonstrated this prowess on numerous occasions. Currently, Kikoru can harness up to 93% of the suit's power, an extraordinary achievement. Still, to truly stand among the strongest warriors, she must gain experience battling kaiju of higher destructive class, such as Fortitude 8 or above. Her path remains full of trials, especially as her mother, Hikari, sacrificed her life in the battle against Kaiju No. 6. Kaiju No. 6, known as the King of Kaiju, stands as one of the most fearsome monsters in history. 10 years ago, it unleashed a catastrophe that claimed the lives of more than 200 officers, including 3 captains. The most prominent casualty was Kikoru Shinomiya, captain of the 2nd Division. After her death, Kaiju No. 6's body was preserved for weaponization, but since no one proved compatible, it was sealed away in cold storage. With a Fortitude level of 9.6, the second highest in the entire series, surpassed only by Kaiju No. 8, Kafka. Kaiju No. 6 once brought about the great snow disaster in Odawara, turning the city into a symbol of despair. For this reason, it was given the title King of Kaiju. Even as a weapon, its power remains terrifying. The armor forged from Kaiju No. 6 grants the ability of cryokinesis, the control of ice, capable of conjuring violent blizzards. At one point, it easily overwhelmed a skilled officer like Leno Ichikawa, proving that the freezing might of Kaiju No. 6 remains dreadful, even long after its sealing. Kaiju No. 8 is the central figure of the entire story. Unlike other kaiju, it does not exist as an independent entity. Instead, it fused with Kafka's body, transforming him into Kaiju No. 8. Through this, Kafka became one of the most powerful kaiju, arguably the strongest in the series. When Kaiju No. 8 awakens, Kafka gains immense power and assumes a humanoid Daikaiju form with exceptional combat abilities. Over time, he learns to control this power, even managing to transform only parts of his body to retain his human appearance and cooperate more effectively with his allies. However, because of the kaiju essence within him, Kafka is unable to utilize a defensive suit and has never surpassed even the 1% threshold. The reason behind this limitation remains a mystery. Despite these drawbacks, Kaiju No. 8 has consistently demonstrated overwhelming strength. Kafka has dominated numerous kaiju, faced Kaiju No. 9 with Fortitude 8.5 head-on while maintaining the upper hand and even withstood attacks from captains like Hoshina. Most notably, he managed to injure Isao Shinomiya, despite the latter wielding numbered weapon No. 2. These feats firmly establish the unique standing of Kaiju No. 8. Yet this power comes with grave risks. At times, Kafka loses control, allowing Kaiju No. 8 to seize dominance and act on destructive instinct. While his human will persists, his body succumbs to the kaiju's fury. Moreover, his age and human physiology prevent him from enduring the full extent of this power. Each time he overuses it, his body suffers devastating damage. This is the price of wielding Kaiju No. 8's might, the ability to overwhelm any enemy, at the cost of gradually consuming his own life. Kaiju No. 9 serves as the main antagonist and is one of the most dangerous kaiju ever encountered. Taking on a human-like form, it can blend seamlessly into crowds without detection. What makes it truly terrifying is its ability to resurrect fallen kaiju or reclaim kaiju that had been converted into weapons, returning them to the monster faction. From its very first appearance, Kaiju No. 9 displayed overwhelming power, boasting a Fortitude of 8.5, enough to annihilate an entire Defense Force unit and engage Kaiju No. 8 directly, while still escaping unscathed. According to Isao Shinomiya, it resembles a living virus, capable of infiltrating, multiplying, and evolving within its host undetected. After absorbing the power of Kaiju No. 2, it was hailed as the new Kaiju King. Surpassing human physical limits with devastating strength, near incomprehensible speed, and reflexes. It possesses limitless adaptability and shape-shifting abilities, altering its human form, growing additional eyes or limbs, and regenerating a stronger body each time. In battle, Kaiju No. 9 frequently uses body fragmentation techniques, firing parts of its body like high-speed projectiles. It can also copy the memories and appearance of humans it devours, enabling disguise and manipulation. Beyond that, it can merge with other organisms, creating even stronger evolutionary forms or split into multiple clones, each as powerful as the original. Most notably, Kaiju No. 9 has the power to resurrect dead kaiju, even stronger than before, or spawn entirely new kaiju from its own body. Many kaiju introduced later in the series were either created or revived by it. This ability cements Kaiju No. 9 as the greatest threat, the driving force behind every catastrophe throughout the story. Kaiju No. 10 was a monster directly created by Kaiju No. 9. From the moment it appeared, it shocked the battlefield with a Fortitude of 8.3, and its power increased even further when it enlarged its body. Vice Captain Soshiro Hoshina himself admitted that Kaiju No. 10 possessed the endurance necessary to go toe-to-toe with Kaiju No. 8. Even after being defeated and reduced to nothing but its head, it retained a Fortitude of 5.7, clear proof of its extraordinary resilience. Its signature ability was the Gigant Ophelia Force, a devastating attack of overwhelming destructive power. Additionally, it could control other kaiju using sonar-like signal waves, effectively acting as a battlefield commander. Yet, Kaiju No. 10 was regarded as a failed product of Kaiju No. 9. Instead of being discarded, it chose to request transformation into a weapon, becoming the first kaiju in history to voluntarily become a numbered weapon. When Soshiro wielded weapon No. 10, his speed and strength skyrocketed. However, the weapon possessed its own will and often attempted to dominate its wielder. Even so, Soshiro never succumbed. In fact, he temporarily synchronized with it, extracting its full potential. This synergy was most evident in the battle against Kaiju No. 12, an upgraded version of No. 10. At first, Soshiro was completely overpowered, but by employing a top-secret weapon and a new technique of his own creation, he turned the tide and secured victory. This marked a pivotal moment, demonstrating the perfect fusion between him and weapon number 10. At peak output, Soshiro could unleash 92% of its power, but the system was prone to overheating and instability. Reaching 100% synchronization with Kaiju number 10 would yield ultimate power, yet it was extremely dangerous, pushing both wielder and weapon to their absolute limits. Kaiju number 11 was unique because it was programmed with the complete memories of Isao Shinomiya, making it both immensely powerful and exceedingly dangerous. It possessed a fortitude of 9 and the ability of hydrokinesis, the manipulation of water, making it a formidable foe, especially against Narumi Gen, captain of the 1st Division. Moreover, Kaiju number 11 could read its opponent's movements by sensing the brain's electrical impulses, giving it a constant tactical advantage. During combat, it claimed that while Narumi could predict its motions, he could never anticipate the flow of water, a force it controlled entirely. The battle became even more grueling because Kaiju number 11 not only inherited Isao's memories, but also his mastery of numbered weapon number 1 and intimate knowledge of Narumi's fighting style. As a result, Narumi was repeatedly cornered and even lost consciousness during the fight. However, upon awakening, Narumi unleashed newfound strength, pushing weapon number 1 beyond anything Isao had ever achieved. This unexpected evolution forced Kaiju number 11 onto the defensive. Ultimately, Narumi reversed the momentum, overwhelming his foe and delivering the finishing blow, bringing an end to Kaiju number 11. Kaiju number 12 was created as the perfected version of number 10, designed specifically to confront Soshiro Hoshina, vice captain of the 3rd Division. Not only did it possess overwhelming physical strength, but it was also a master swordsman, with skills rivaling Soshiro himself. At the start of their battle, number 12 was overwhelmed by Soshiro's ultimate style, the Ito Ryu, one-sword style. Yet it quickly adapted, copying his techniques and regenerating its arm into a sword to counterattack. This demonstrated its extraordinary adaptability, evolving even in the middle of combat. However, Soshiro unleashed his strongest move, wielding 3 swords simultaneously while combining them with the tail of numbered weapon number 10, piercing through number 12's core. Despite its attempt to regenerate, its core was completely shattered, leading to its downfall. Before its death, Soshiro acknowledged it as a truly formidable opponent. Kaiju number 13 was considered the one most similar to Kaiju number 9, both in appearance and aura. It possessed a fortitude of 9, which could rise to 9.2 upon releasing its full power, enough to face Division 1 head-on while sustaining almost no damage. Even so, it still could not match Kaiju number 8. During the Oizumi catastrophe, number 13 utterly dominated Division 1, nearly killing platoon leader Tachibana, crushing Vice Captain Rin Shinonome's weapon with a single punch, and shrugging off both freezing bombs and sniper fire. Just as Rin was about to be killed, Kafka, in his Kaiju number 8 form, arrived to intervene. Instead of fear, number 13 was exhilarated by the chance to face another Kaiju. It enhanced its muscles and charged forward with overwhelming force. Yet in a single decisive moment, Kafka delivered a lethal blow, piercing its body and ending number 13 instantly. Kaiju number 14 was a unique entity endowed with 2 main abilities, levitation and teleportation. It could move freely through the air and was believed to have been created specifically to counter Mina Ashiro. Its most dangerous technique was the Forced Gate, which allowed it to open a portal from its own body, linking to another source of power, and this ability persisted even after its death. In addition, number 14 could channel energy into other kaiju, fire destructive energy beams from multiple mouths sprouting on its head, and generate defensive force fields strong enough to repel both missiles and rifle fire. During the Tachikawa catastrophe, number 14, under Kaiju number 9's control, became Mina's direct adversary. Thanks to its teleportation, it constantly evaded her attacks while devastating the city with energy blasts and resisting soldiers with its barrier. The battle between it and Mina was brutal, and though number 14 was ultimately destroyed, its demise brought no relief. Immediately upon its death, Kaiju number 9 exploited its remaining body to open a portal and appear directly before Mina, a scene that left everyone in terror. Kaiju No 15 possessed the mentality of a child, forever yearning for the affection and recognition of Kaiju number 9 as a father, yet in truth treated as nothing more than a disposable tool. It was said to confront Kikoru Shinomiya. Upon arrival, number 15 slaughtered all the soldiers accompanying her, and then mocked Kikoru in human form. With overwhelming strength, it shattered the defenses of the numbered weapon, and even transformed its arm into a massive axe to deliver the finishing blow. Guided by the spirit of her mother within her combat suit, Kikoru narrowly avoided the fatal strike and launched a counterattack. Not stopping there, number 15 used its psychic ability to drag Kikoru into a subconscious realm, forcing her to face a painful truth, her desperate longing for parental recognition despite her parents' deaths. Exploiting this wound, it sought to sow despair and break her spirit. After Kaiju number 8 defeated number 13 and appeared on the battlefield, number 15 briefly considered proposing an alliance to overthrow Kafka. However, before it could act, Kikoru overcame her inner weakness, reaffirming her unwavering resolve as a warrior. She delivered a decisive strike, defeating number 15. In its final moments, number 15 revealed its true desire, to be acknowledged by No. 9 as a child. Yet such affection never came, leaving it to perish as nothing more than a pitiful pawn. Despite wielding destructive power and the ability to manipulate the subconscious, forcing opponents to confront their deepest fears, Kaiju number 15 was ultimately vanquished by Kikoru Shinomiya. This unique ability was precisely why it was regarded as one of the most dangerous kaiju ever to exist. And with that, we have now explored every kaiju that appeared in Kaiju number 8, colossal beings of terror and destruction for humanity. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this video. If you enjoyed the content, please leave a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can continue bringing you more exciting videos. See you in the next installment, and remember to keep following us as we uncover even more mysteries of the kaiju world.